Now will we see the magic?
All right, where's Murray? Okay, who is it?
This is Jesus, kid.
Know then that it is the year 10,191.
Yes, we are bored. We're all bored now.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Hello, and welcome to Mary vs. the Movies with your host, Mary Jones.
And Dennis Leung.
This week's movie, we are taking a break from the 80s, just barely.
Yeah.
Look, for whatever reason, I got it into my head.
You mean for 3 weeks we'll be taking a break from
Well,
the 80s?
that's true. We'll get into that when we do, after we watch the movie.
Yeah.
This week, we're doing a movie from 1992. But again, this falls into my long 80s theory. Clinton wasn't elected until late in 92.
Yeah.
So it's fine if we cover movies from 92.
All right.
All right. The movie we're watching tonight is Hard Boiled, the John Woo movie. I've never seen a John Woo movie.
Any?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You didn't see Face Off?
No.
Oh.
I've never seen Face Off. I've never seen Mission Impossible
2, I think. Or
Yeah.
3. I think 2.
I don't know. I didn't even see Wind Talkers. I've never seen a John Woo movie, but I know he's incredibly influential.
Yeah.
I know he's very important. I never got around to it. Look, Hong Kong has a famous movie scene, and I've just never really delved into any of it. So, at some point we'll be doing Jackie Chan movies. Now, this movie, I know it stars Chow Yun-fat.
Yep.
And Tony Leung.
Okay.
He's also in it. And beyond that, I'm not really sure anything about this movie. But I do know, despite having never actually watched any of his films, John Woo has a very flamboyant directing style.
Okay.
Okay? I feel like there's going to be a lot of birds. Like doves
Okay.
being let loose, and then
crying.
Yeah, and then ultraviolence. You
Okay.
know, that's my impression of what his films are. That they're, we'll say operatic,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And okay, so look, the American movies that I know he's made, Face Off. Look, it's an insane premise,
Yeah.
and he has two insane actors in it.
Right.
It's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Hey, God knows I love Nicolas Cage. And then you have John Travolta, and they have face swapping.
Yeah.
Their faces are in the film reconstructed for each other.
Based on a true story.
I hope so.
This guy really wanted to nail that guy.
When you say nail. No, so look, Face Off, I've never seen it. Insane premise. Mission Impossible 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
The only thing I know is that the one where you have two motorcycles
Yeah. I think
jumping
so.
at each other?
Yeah.
And it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I've never actually seen any of the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, you should see
I should.
the first one at least.
No, apparently I should see all of them because
Yeah.
apparently they're all really good. So look, I don't really have a whole lot of, reference for this guy's films, but
So you have seen John Wick. You just saw
Yes.
Monkey Man.
yes, as far as I know, they are influenced by his type of movies.
Yeah.
So,
We just saw Furiosa,
yeah.
another operatic.
Yep. Look,
um,
I like Furiosa.
action.
Furiosa, great. Monkey Man, really enjoyed Monkey Man. Monkey Man, I really like it. I wish more people had seen it. John Wick, I like the John Wick movies.
Mhm.
They're great.
I like how Jackie Chan, it's more stunt work
Yes.
or especially the longer he went on, it was more obviously Buster Keaton style stunt work.
Oh no! I don't want to say that they're the same because
Yeah.
just because they both come out of the same kind of
Mhm.
area of the world, they're not. But because Jackie Chan, I think you're right in comparing him to Buster Keaton. I think there is something actually very much there.
Yeah.
There's a slapstick quality to it, but there's also a sort of death-defying quality. Obviously, John Woo, from what I've interpreted, it's more stylized.
Yeah.
Shall we say? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. and it's not the same sort of thing. So, yeah, beyond that, I don't like. How many John Woo movies have you seen?
So I did not see this one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I didn't. I may have, but I definitely saw The Killer.
Okay.
And the reason you were asking about a John Woo to suggest, and I said Hard Boiled because it's the first one you can name. It's just easy to remember.
Yeah.
But The Killer, I'm always like, is it Killers? Is it The Killer? Is it Killing? You know,
because there's so many movies that have like that kind of like. I'm trying to remember what's the Kubrick movie.
I think that's The Killing.
Is it The Killing or is it The Killers? I don't remember.
It's not Killers.
Yeah, well,
I think it's The Killing.
But that's the problem. You can't, keep them straight. The English language is not complex enough.
There's a band called The Killers.
They should have been more hardcore. I'm sorry, but if you're called The Killers, you should sound like AC/DC.
Yeah, you should sound like that Einster Zoom. New Boughton. Oh, yeah, I tried to say it.
Like I'm not like saying anything bad about The Killers at all. I'm just saying with a name like that, you should like blow my hair off.
Yeah.
So
should be like industrial.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying you should be Rammstein. You should be I don't know, the Misfits.
No, you should be Rammstein.
No, nobody should be Rammstein. Absolutely not.
All right. So, do you think there's a love triangle?
No, and I'll tell you why. I saw the poster for this movie. The poster of this movie is Chow Yun-fat holding a baby and a gun.
Uh-huh.
Now that's awesome. I kind of can't wait to see where that goes. I'm like, oh man, is he like a cop protecting a baby or whatever? I don't know. But there's no love triangle in this.
Do you think there's any, what's that, Odessa Steps reference?
Ooh, I like the Odessa Steps idea. Yeah.
I mean,
Battleship Potemkin. Yeah.
Like maybe not as obvious as the...
As in the Untouchables?
Yeah.
Where De Palma just completely just redoes it.
I like it. I love when people do that.
I like the Untouchables as a movie.
Yeah. I love Annette that just rips off, Sunrise.
Yes.
Because who knows what Sunrise?
Well, look, Annette, not to go off on a tangent, but like I think Annette is an underrated movie, and I think Sunrise is a highly underrated movie. Or it's not even underrated, underseen.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing with Sunrise. It's not that it's underrated because the people who have seen it rate it highly, but you have to actually have seen it. So will this like borrow from what we think of as classic cinema? Yeah, why not? I have no idea. But I'm very intrigued by the poster of here's a dude with a gun holding a baby. Like it's not quite Raising Arizona, but I wonder if it's not dissimilar insofar as we're protecting a baby from some sort of terrible person.
So we just saw this episode of Doctor Who. Do you think the baby talks?
Oh God, please no. Yeah,
go that way.
Oh, look, we're catching up on the latest season of Doctor Who, and I understand what Russell T Davies is doing, but I don't like talking babies.
No, I didn't like that
No,
either.
we're going into super babies territory. That's a John Voight movie. What are we doing? No.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay. Look, beyond that, I have no idea.
Do you think there's any female characters?
Maybe.
Babies come from guns. Obviously.
Look, that may as well be true as far as a lot of movies are concerned. I have no idea if there are any female characters in this at all.
Do you think there's a dog?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I can
I'm a
see
little
a dog.
disappointed. Like the last movie we watched was that Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay.
Right, for our Patreon.
And no dogs.
There were no dogs in the Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay. By the way, you can hear our episode on that if you sign up to the Patreon, patreon.com/MaryVSMovies.
We had a lot of fun watching that and talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it was like softcore lesbian porn.
Yeah.
So, how can you not love that?
I know.
So, no, I don't think this will be that.
Do you think there'll be any interpretive dance?
No. No. Thank God, no. Woof. So, yeah, I look, beyond
interpretive dog dance.
You're cut off.
Okay. I deserve that.
All right.
All right. Do they survive?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure this is something where cop and baby survive.
All right.
Are you ready to watch the movie?
Sure.
All right, listen. I don't feel well. And I think I've been, kind of fighting a cold for a few days, and now I'm like just being pummeled. So I sound terrible, and so I apologize, dear listeners. But I gotta be honest, I think it didn't help me to follow the plot. I don't understand what happened in this movie, which is fine. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun watching this movie. It's got some fun set pieces. Did I follow what exactly was happening? I vaguely know the outline. Let's see. Chow Yun-fat is a super cop named Tequila. And he plays clarinet and drinks a lot. But he's the best cop on the force in Hong Kong. And he's going after organized crime, the triad, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Tony Leung is an undercover cop who has infiltrated triad. Tequila is going after him and eventually finds out, oh, wait, he's one of us. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a movie and lots of shooting.
You know what? There's a fake out love triangle in this.
There is a fake out love triangle.
Tequila's girlfriend is the secretary to the chief of police, so she has a giant glass stage for everyone to watch everything that happens in her office. But
awkward.
Through the whole movie, she keeps getting flowers, and you think like, oh, there's some other guy, because their relationships on the rocks and stuff. He does like some prayers to like help him out. Turns out that these love letters are actually codes from a undercover cop, who of course is Alan. Yes. Yep.
It looks like a love triangle. It's not actually a love triangle.
Yeah.
It's all codes, whatever.
It's close.
You were.
Yeah. They were trying to fulfill the thing, but.
Oh, they tried very hard to meet our criteria.
I know. They're like, we can't find any dogs, so.
There were no dogs. What else do we do? Does anybody die? Yeah, a lot of people.
Well, a lot of people die, but the main guy
fakes his
die.
death.
And one of the main guys, and I really thought one of them was going to die. But.
Yeah, I was shocked that Tony Leung's character does not die.
And I think they changed it. I think the original script, although it sounds like they changed a lot. There was poisoned babies at one point.
Oh my God! There were just reading up on this. There were a whole bunch of rewrites while they were making it. So like, it's not on me that this plot doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, or at least like I didn't really have a whole lot to grab onto here. Like
it's very film noir.
Oh, look, yeah. and what is film noir? Do not try to make sense of it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy the ride.
Like the whole idea is that everything is murky.
Yeah.
And this is murky. I understand, it's organized crime, and because Alan, Tony Leung's character, gets exposed, like the triad is going to go after him. Like I understand that part, but like this is not a movie where I could give you beat by beat what happens in it, because there's just a lot of like gunfights and chases and explosions, and
I will say the main bad guy lives up to his bad guy name.
Oh yeah,
there's not much redeeming about this dude.
Nope. I appreciate just a pure villain sometimes.
Yeah. His name was like Roger or something. I don't know.
Was it Roger?
I think so.
Oh, I'm terrified of Roger.
I know the real bad guy. I mean the badass dude. That was his second guy. His name was Bad Dog, I think.
Well, there's your dog.
You know what? I forgot. There he is. He was great. Apparently, he was just like a stunt man, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to give you more of a role because we like you."
Yeah. So this movie's interesting. When we started it up, we didn't know if we had the right copy because I downloaded it and I didn't get the the subtitles. Yeah. So,
but the thing is, like, it was like 5 minutes before we realized, because like they're showing these newspaper flashes, and it's in English and it's in Chinese. Like, we didn't know which way it was going to go.
Well, that's the thing, because this is a Hong Kong film. Hong Kong at the time was still a colony of the UK. People spoke both. I'm not. Is it Cantonese in Hong Kong?
I think
Yeah.
I was about to confidently say I think so, and I have no
No clue.
reason to be
Yeah.
saying that.
But
I know
anyway-
people that would know, and they're not here.
They speak Chinese, but a lot of people also speak English. And one of the fun things of watching this was you would hear like phrases in English like just peppered in, the way that in America we'll pepper in phrases in like Spanish.
You know what? We probably could have just watched the film without subtitles and probably figured it out.
I would have understood just about as much.
And then suddenly we just hear like curses or something, like,
Yeah.
just out of nowhere, like English curses.
It's so weird to watch, and just all of a sudden like they're swearing in English, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Because this is an English colony. It looks very American though. Everything looks so American, to the point where there's a scene in a library where a guy gets murdered and they use the Dewey Decimal System. Like, I gotta check up on this. This is like, who let that escape into the rest of the world? It's not a very efficient system.
You know what? This is library talk here.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying this is something that librarians are like immediately pick up on the scene. Like,
Oh, you didn't think about?
You
Oh, hey,
know,
they're
like-
using the Dewey Decimal
no,
System.
I'm like, wow, that's so cool. It's going in slow mo, and like, oh, look at the angles, and there's a smoke machine in that library for some reason. Over Mary's head, she's like, the Dewey Decimal System.
Look, the Library of Congress system is a much better way of classifying books. I don't know that they would want to use that in Hong Kong, but they've got to have something better than the Dewey Decimal System. But there's a murder in this library, and I have to say I appreciate that the killer used a silencer on his gun, because you have to respect the quiet of the library, man. Although what gets me is, so he pulls a book off the shelf, and it's like Shakespeare. And he opens up the book, and there's a gun, and he shoots the guy, and there's blood everywhere. There's blood all over the book, and he puts the gun back in the book, and puts the book like he doesn't even wipe the gun down. I'm just watching this. I'm just thinking, why would you leave the gun there? That's insane. Between I don't know what's worse, using the Dewey Decimal System or leaving the gun there.
And that was the cop.
Yeah,
that did that. It was just cool looking.
It was very
cool to
looking.
do.
This is a movie of things that just look cool.
I mean, like, probably the best way to shoot someone. People don't really realize this. The best way to shoot someone is to jump in midair and shoot them with two guns, because the bullets fly faster that way.
And there's no recoil in your hands.
No,
You're
of
fine.
course not.
Yeah. The second coolest way is to be sliding down a banister.
Oh yes, that was awesome.
That was so cool. That was one of the coolest things I've seen. Oh man, eat your heart out, Legolas. That rocked. Yeah, there's a lot of really fun stuff. Again, there's like a whole thing with a dude doing a motorcycle jump to his death. I guess does he die?
No. He jumps his bike at someone else to kill them.
Yeah.
Like they're in a truck.
That's
a
what happens.
Shipping
That's
truck,
right.
and he does a wheelie and wow.
Kills a guy with his bike.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Very, yeah. It was that was Mad Maxy.
We say this is film noir, and it even borrows like things from film noir. There's a scene where like somebody's gonna get shot in a hospital, and so the guy is the hitman's coming in with like a bunch of flowers in a box, and of course hidden with the flowers is his gun, and that's something out of Kubrick's the Killers or the Killing. The Killing. That's right. The Killing.
Sterling Hayden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It is.
Yeah. The French film Le Samurai was a big influence.
I saw The Killer.
See, I'm not stupid for getting this stuff wrong.
So, not only is there a John Woo movie, The Killer, that came out before this, there's also the David Fincher recent film called The Killer that was... I liked it, and then I was reading, like, everyone said, like, oh, it's trying to be Le Samurai, and Le Samurai is trying to be, I don't know.
No, this is trying to be Le Samurai, too. Yeah. No, but so, like, my not being able to entirely follow, like, I get the general idea of the plot, but, yeah, a lot of it just kind of washes over you, like you're, like, in the pool or something, you just soak in it, don't worry about it, The other thing that struck me watching this dude loves Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Partially, it looks a lot like Miami Vice.
Yeah.
The dude lives on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just shocked he didn't have an alligator in there.
We didn't see Tequila Sunrise, or you haven't seen that, right?
I have not.
I haven't seen it
I've
either.
drunk at a Tequila Sunrise.
There's a movie, I think Phil Collins has a song in
Of
it.
course he does.
Not, Kenny Loggins, though.
I'll take Phil Collins over Kenny Loggins.
Yeah. Oh, you'll get one over eventually.
Well, no. I don't think that's true.
Did you hear Rachel's?
I
thing
thought,
on that?
oh yes, folks, if you have not been listening to Rachel's Chart Chat as part of People Are the Enemy podcast, go and listen to it. It's great. We did Footloose, and then she went and did a whole thing on Kenny Loggins, and that was awesome.
Yeah,
And
that went all over the place too.
It really did. There was something else that she did that was when we did Over the Edge.
Yeah,
She went and did a whole episode that was like kind of about the soundtrack to Over the Edge.
and even forgave me for saying Over the Top.
So yes, please go listen to Chart Chat as part of People Are the Enemy. Both parts of that show is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, this has a very Miami Vice sort of feel to it in a lot of ways. As you said, there's a lot of steam, a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
There's a real. You're waiting to hear "You Belong to the City."
Yeah.
But what's weird is, so like half of the movie feels like that, and then like part of it also just it has the look of a lot of like just cop shows of the 90s.
Yeah.
It looks so of its time, but also like it's a weird sort of liminal. Like there are times where it looks more like the late 90s, and there are times where it looks like the 80s. And boy, does that not sum up the year 1992.
It does have that kind of cheap 90s look.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Very
kinda,
beige.
like slick.
Yeah.
Slick and beige.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Big boxy computers.
Yeah, it's losing its filmicness.
Yes.
Like it doesn't look as cinematic. I feel like the killer looks more cinematic. I don't know.
The Fincher.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. The John Woo, the killer.
Oh. Okay.
was
Again,
just before.
I haven't seen that. But I do like the Miami Vice sort of aspect of a lot of this.
Yeah.
This whole thing leads to a climax where, for some reason, we have to get a whole bunch of babies out of a hospital because the hospital is going to get blown up. And I still don't understand why they're going to blow up the hospital or what's the deal with the babies.
This part felt exactly like you're a 12-year-old kid and you've got your action figures and you're like, the bad guys are trying to kill all the babies.
Exactly. I'm just like, wait a minute, where is it? And this is what I mean when
This
I'm
is like a teenage type, like a teenager.
how do we
wrote this
show
thing.
how bad this guy is? He's gonna kill babies.
So there's like 4 scenes of cops of of the lady cop who's going out with tequila, handing off a baby to a cop who's going out a window, and then just a bad guy just bursting out of a window out of nowhere shooting at them.
All the babies survive, of course.
No.
But yeah, I mean, it's like the most absurd. Like, wait a minute. Why did we raise the stakes to this?
This is like an A-Team thing.
Yes, exactly.
Just cartoon bad guys that just like, I gotta kill kids.
Like this. It's not that this was like a realistic movie up until now, but
Yeah.
at least I could kind of follow. Like, oh, they're gangsters, it's organized crime, etc. But then when you get to this climax, and I'm just like, wait, what the hell's going on?
This might be crazier than Cobra.
Yes. Cobra, I could follow at least. This just is like, what?
They're kind of the same for a while, like the same level of insanity,
Yeah.
and then that hospital scene just takes it over the edge.
Yeah. No, it blew Cobra out of the water for that because I'm just like, wait, but why is he killing babies? Yeah. And so, of course, it's all about rescuing the babies. And, guys, you got to see this to believe this insane. Like, I don't understand why this was happening. Yeah. And then the end of the movie is Alan has to fake his death.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the mob is going to kill him. And I guess he just sails off into the sunset.
Yeah.
And that's it.
On his boat.
Yeah, on his boat. And that's the end of the movie.
One common theme is both lead guys have kill cops in this because how are you not going to when you're shooting everyone in a room?
Yeah.
That doesn't have their hands up or something. And the one is buried in a I guess a Protestant cemetery.
Like the religion thing was a little confusing, actually. Then again, I guess if you're settled by England, you're gonna be forced to be Protestant.
John Woo, his family was Protestant.
Okay.
But they were in mainland China during Mao Zedong, the purges and stuff, and so they actually fled to Hong Kong. And so, like, I guess I was reading that Protestantism is found in a lot of his films or something.
Oh, okay. That explains all that dove imagery.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. It's,
Oh, you know what? And there's the other scene where the bad guy says, like, slap your face like Jesus. Remember? Like turn the other cheek. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I'm so used to Catholic filmmakers.
Yeah.
And Catholic imagery. I mean, you know, obviously Scorsese leaps to mind, but there are others. And so, you know, I don't usually think about Protestant filmmakers and that being like a thing. It is. I mean, Schrader, I guess. But, you know, that's something like I never really thought about before.
Plus Protestantism in a different culture.
Very different culture.
Yeah.
That's interesting, and that'd be something kind of to explore. Like, you know, what does that mean? What is the cultural context of that? And I don't know. I've never been Protestant. It's still kind of a not foreign territory. I mean, my stepdad was and all that stuff, but like still weird to me.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, this is the first John Woo movie I've ever actually sat and watched, and it's funny watching this and just going like, oh wow, yeah, everybody used this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, heavily influential. I mean, obviously you can see like The Matrix and all that type of stuff uses it. You know, but also like I guess your what do you call it? Oh, you know, Bad Boys and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is that guy? Oh my God, I can't think of him.
Is that Bay?
Yeah, Michael Bay. Huge influence on Michael Bay, for good or ill.
So this does sort of have a love triangle. It's kind of a fake love triangle in that the lady cop, she is dating Tequila.
Theresa, I think.
Theresa.
Yeah.
So Theresa, she's dating Tequila, but it's on the rocks, and she's getting flowers from somebody. And it's kind of played off as if, you know, like, oh, there's this other guy in her life. But it turns out these flowers, they all have songs in them, and the songs are actually code.
So it looks like a love triangle, but it's not really.
And, you know, and had we watched this without subtitles, like we would have been just hearing nothing but Chinese, and then suddenly American songs sung. You know,
that would have been pretty wild, actually. Yeah. You know what? I actually had that happen to me. Completely, very different vibe. I got into this Danish soap opera called Seaside Hotel. And so the show is all in Danish, and it's set in like the 20s. But then every so often, like this one guy will start playing piano, and he's playing like American songs and stuff. And so all of a sudden he'll start singing in English, and it's real weird. I mean, because I'm like, oh, I know that song. Yeah. But otherwise, everybody's always speaking in Danish. You know, it's the same sort of thing.
So the weirdest experience I had with that, me and a friend Vaughn at Tyler School of Art, we had like a shortwave radio going, and we were just kind of playing with it, and we had it going through a delay pedal, so we really couldn't understand anything that was going on. We found some Israeli news thing, and we're listening to it, and we couldn't understand anything. It's just like, you know, this kind of blurb, because it's also through a delay and stuff, and then in the middle of it, suddenly hear David, Koresh. And we're like, what? It blew our minds.
So that was Hard Boiled, starring Chow Yun-fat, Tony Leung, Theresa Mo, Anthony Wong, and just a bunch of people. Sorry. Yeah, at a certain point I'm just like, oh, I don't know where to cut this off, but you know, because it had a large cast, but those are the most famous people. Written by John Woo, Barry Wong, and Gordon Chan, and of course directed by John Woo. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, you can follow us on social media. We are Mary vs. Movies on all of your major platforms except for Tumblr, where we are Mary versus the Movies. But we are on Instagram, TikTok, X, Blue Sky, Facebook. We're on Facebook now, Mary versus the Movies. I know, like I can reach out to 50-year-olds now.
I was wondering why I saw it suddenly.
Yeah, no. So we're basically on all of your major, you know, networking, Mastodon even. My God, we're even on Mastodon. No WhatsApp, no Snapchat. I don't know how to use those things. I'm too old. So, but yeah, follow us elsewhere. We are available on all of your major podcasting platforms, as far as I know. Although, like with Google, they're trying to make you put everything on YouTube, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. And I think it's a dumb idea, but you know, whatever. You know what? I think I have a cold, and I should stop thinking about these things. Look, we're on Apple Podcasts, where you can rate and review the show, and we would appreciate it if you did. We're on Spotify. You can get our RSS feed and plug it into whatever your podcatcher of choice is. All right, we have a Patreon where you can help support the show. We just released our episode on Morgan et ses nymphes. The Girl Slaves of Morgana Le Fay. Our podcast is Hollywood Avalon, where we watch Arthurian movies, and it's everything from lesbian erotica to Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's a lot of stuff. We did a 2-part on the musical Camelot. We've done movies like First Night, which I hate. Movies that are rather enduring, like The Kid Would Be King. It's anything that's Arthurian. So yes, patreon.com/MaryVSMovies. And so you would be helping support the show for $3 a month, because we do have all sorts of costs. The server costs money, and making the show costs money, and all blah blah blah. But you would also get access to our second podcast. Next up, it's 1976 versus 1976. I realize we're getting again outside of the 80s, but I have a reason for that. Do you know what the reason is?
Rocky?
No.
Oh.
I've seen Rocky. I've seen all the Rockies.
Okay.
No, I want to watch Bad News Bears.
Okay.
Okay? Because it's baseball, and it's summertime. And so what's more summery than baseball? And I like baseball movies. I've never actually watched Bad News Bears.
Is it Bad News Bears versus Bad News Bears?
It is not.
Okay.
It's Bad News Bears versus Silver Streak.
Yay.
Because...
That's really that early?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of
Weird.
surprised by that, too, because originally I was, like, looking for, the Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor movies, and I was just like, oh, because I guess Stir Crazy is 1980, and then it turns out Silver Streak is 76. I'm like, well, okay, I'm breaking the rules a little bit, but if I want to watch these movies...
That's a movie I've always seen on TV.
Sure.
I mean, on, like ABC or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would never, it's something I never really saw on cable.
Well, now you're going to see it on, streaming. It counts. It's fine. All right, so you're going to flip a coin.
Yep.
Heads, Bad News Bears, because bears have heads. And tails, Silver Streak, because trains have cabooses.
Cabooses.
All right, our next movie is going to be Silver Streak. And then after that, we will do the Bad News Bears. So, until next time.
There is no room for failure now. The innocent must die.